First, though, quote, "No matter what our sexuality, God created us in his image and makes no mistakes." So says the Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender Christian Fellowship. Every 6 months they run open events to which anyone can attend, whether you're of faith or not, whatever your sexual preference or your belief, you can go. The next event is on Saturday. It's in Hull. It's going to be attended by members from across the region, including here in Sheffield, and two of them are with me, Fiona Sweeney and Jessica Abbott. They're members of the LGBT Christian Fellowship. They are engaged and they live in Sheffield, and they are sitting opposite me this morning. Good morning, ladies.
Morning. Good morning.
OK, I can see the sense of it, and I think that's a perfectly reasonable statement to make as a fellowship. But a little bit more, if you wouldn't mind, Jessica. What is the LGBT Fellowship?
Well, it was started up with one of our friends, Lucy, about a year ago, and I think her vision was kind of to create a safe space for LGBT Christians to come together, get to know each other, and just kind of talk through some of the issues that are kind of going on at the moment, especially with all the changes that have been made with like equal marriage and things like that. And it's just a kind of a place for everyone just to commune and have fellowship, really.
So did you not feel safe in what you might call a conventional church or the conventional Christian environment?
I think a lot of people that go to LGBT Christian Fellowship in Hull, I think, have had quite a few bad experiences in different churches, and I think some good, some bad, and I think especially Fiona as well has had her fair share of problems with the church, and I've kind of experienced my fair share, and it's a mixture. But yeah, I think you kind of need somewhere to come and just know that you're not going to be judged, really.
Mm. Can you share some of those problems with us, Fiona? I don't want to probe too much, but what sort of thing have you had to deal with?
Well, I've been to a few churches in the past, and obviously it comes to the point where you feel like you have to tell them who you really are, although you can try and hide it for a while. And I've been to a couple in the past where once that's come out and I've told them about my sexuality, they've just said that they're not able or willing to accommodate that in their church, and it might be best to
in what
try
way
elsewhere.
Not able? I mean, won't they give you communion, or do they just not want you sitting in the pew? What is their objection?
I think it's about if any church says that they're in support of gay people, then it makes a statement sort of in the place that we're in at the moment with how things are, and I think a lot of people aren't willing to make that statement, and I think they also feel it just goes against their theology and their beliefs. So it's sadly has happened a couple of times now. Again,
there's no need, and perhaps best not to name any individuals or be specific, but are these members of the congregation or are these church leaders?
Both.
But really both?
Yeah. I've had it from both church leaders and also congregation members.
Which, on the face of it, Jessica, is not a terribly Christian attitude. It doesn't seem all welcoming and all may come and, bring me you're poor and you're sick and you're needy and all that. It's not very Christian, is it?
Oh, no, I don't think so at all. I mean, I don't want to say it's all bad, because we've had some people in church that have been really, really great about everything and have just seen it as a non-issue, which I think it should be to everyone. But some people, I think it's mainly from a leadership point of view, they just... if they can't agree with it, then what do they do about it? It's and I think it comes to that, is whether they can keep their own theologies to themselves, or they feel that they have to make a stand and do something about this if that's what they feel they have to do. But in the end, I think all churches should be inclusive of everyone.
Are things moving in the right direction, albeit maybe very, very slowly? I was just talking to Robert Mickens in Rome about this bishop's synod that's happening within the Catholic Church, and the Pope has encouraged a very full-on, brutally honest and open debate. He may live to regret asking people to do that, but it will happen. I mean, is the Christian Church at least embracing it a bit and moving on, but slowly, or are they absolutely dead set against it? What I'm saying is, are the people you're finding who are coming up against you or obstructive, are they doing it because somebody is telling them they should be, or is that their strongly held view personally, do you think?
I think it's everyone's at all different levels. I think some great changes have been made just with the fact that you have equal marriage now, so in a sense the church has been forced to look at this and kind of debate this, and I think though that can be really difficult and people say some really horrible things and really hard things, there are also other people that are changing their minds as well. So I think It's really hard to tell because we've had experiences on different ends, but I think things are definitely changing in the right direction. It's just a massive discussion point at the moment where I don't think it has been before.
And that's presumably what happens in Hull, is it, Fiona? Is it a discussion, a big old discussion session as well?
Yeah, so each time we meet, we sort of have different topics and themes, and we've all discussed the whole marriage thing. And when that first went through as something which was now legal, we all met and sort of talked about our dream weddings, how we would see, us getting married and what that might look like and all that sort of stuff. And so
do you want to get married in church?
We can't.
I know, that wasn't the question.
We would absolutely love to. We've both been to church our whole lives, ever since we were babies, stayed committed, served in the church, always been part of the church, and it's part of our life. We've never not gone to church. And yeah, we can't.
And that's denied you, isn't it? The right to get married in church.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard.
For the time being, anyway.
Well, that you say for the time being. Why do you have to go to Hull, by the way? I mean, not that Hull isn't a fine place to visit and all that, but, Sheffield's a very forward-thinking, tolerant, inclusive city, I'd like to think. Is there no fellowship group here, or can you not have it here?
I think there is one, actually, but I think because we started off going to this one with Lucy, partly just to support her in setting it up, because it was all coming off the ground, and we were there, and we were like, yeah, we'll come along. And I think we kind of, me and Fiona, when we stick to something, we're quite committed to it, so we've kind of stayed, this is the group we're going to now, let's continue going as best as we can while we're still up north and living here. I think we do have a friend that runs something a little bit similar, as far as I'm aware, in Sheffield, but we haven't been yet. But I think it's more because that's where we've made our friends now, and we're happy there. So it is a bit of a drive, but that's all right.
Well, let's hope it's worth it when you get to the other end, ladies. Thank you for coming in and telling us about it. Really interesting. Fiona Sweeney and Jessica Abbott, who are Sheffield-based members of the LGBT Christian Fellowship. If you want to go, the event is on Saturday the 11th. That'll be next Saturday, 2:00 at St Ninian's Church, I think it is, Chanterlands Avenue in Hull.